Welcome to the second lesson, guys. If you have missed the first lesson, check the course playlist link in the description below and you can choose and watch any lesson that you want. Okay, so now in this lesson, we will actually connect to a database from MySQL Workbench, which is a tool to manage and administer databases. And we will create our first database table and insert data. And once we have done that, we will go into depth to see what kind of data we can store, what kind of tables we can create, and so on. Initially, you will see something like this. So this is a default connection made to your local MySQL server that we had installed in lesson 1. Now, if you do not see something like this, let's just delete this and start from the beginning. So if your screen looks like this and you do not have any connection to any database, you can just click on rescan servers here, or if this is not available, just click on this plus button here and you will see set up new connection. In this dialog box, you can enter the address of any database connection, whether local or remote, and enter its username and enter its password, and you can connect to that database. If you just want to connect to your local database, you can just click on rescan servers and it will automatically connect to your local database. Now later on, we will see how to connect to remote databases. Now just click on this and you will be asked for password. Now enter the password that you had set up when you were installing it. And after entering the password, you will be taken inside this editor here. Now you are connected to that database server and you can create databases and so on. Now let's familiarize ourselves with the interface here. So first, this is the thing that you need to know about. This is the output panel. So if you run any SQL queries here, the output will be shown here. Okay, so these two things are important for now. And then here you will see two things, schemas and administration. In administration tab, you see stuff like data export, data import, server status, client connections, that mean how many clients are connected and so on. And in schemas, you see list of databases. Right now, there is a default database that ships with MySQL, and you do not see any other database. Besides that, you do not need to know much for now. You can just close this query panel and then this will be empty, nothing will be here. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our first database. Now go to schemas here, and you will see that there are no schemas. Now to create a first database, click on this plus SQL and this tab will come again. So this tab, we can write SQL queries, okay? So the query to create a database is create database and just a database name after that. Let's just say first DB and end the statement with this semicolon. Let me see if I can increase the size. Okay, it looks like I cannot increase the size here. Okay, so this is your first SQL query. That means create a database, which is called first DB. Now to execute it, you can either click on this or just press Control Enter. So if I press on this, here you'll see the output, create database is successful. Successful is shown by this green check mark. Or just press Control Enter. Now this time it is not created and there is an error. Because why? The error code is 1007 and it says can't create database for DB because database exists. So we had already created database by clicking this, and when we try to run this again by pressing Control Enter, this error comes up. So later on we will just press Control and Enter together to create or run queries. Now the database is created, but why do not you see anything here? Because you need to refresh this, okay? Refresh by here and you will see your first database. Now you click this arrow next to it and you will see tables, views, stored procedures, functions. Now in tables, you see nothing because we have no table actually, okay? Now to create a table, you can either run a query like this, or an easier way is to just right click on the tables and click on create table. Okay, first let's click on create table and you will see the equivalent query for that table. Let's click on create table and let's say, okay, let's make our database for a blogging platform, right? So there will be users, there will be blogs, and we will figure out what else do we need as we go on. So let's first call this table DBL_users. Now this is a standard practice. So this is a users table. And how many columns do we want? We need to store name and we need to store last name. Let's say we need to store email and let's say we need to store address too. Now, pay attention here. This is data type and it is quite important. So in name, it has by default selected int. That means integer values. There is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now name is not int, right? So double click here, click on this arrow here and select. What do we select? You can select text, medium text, long text, and so on. So name is not long. So what we'll do is we'll just select varchar. This varchar is also text, but we can define the length, maximum length we can have in this column. So let's say the maximum length of name is 45 because that's what's here in the rest of the columns. And email can be longer than 45. So let's just set this to 100. And address can be even longer. So let's set the max length to 100. Okay. And now you might be wondering, what is this PK and so on? So this PK means primary key, and this uniquely need to identify any row. So let's say we have 1,000 users, right? Now this PK has to be unique for each row. So name can be different, right? Name can be Sam and there can be multiple Sam. So this is not primary key and this is not null. Not null means this value cannot be empty. We can set email as primary key because email has to be unique, right? So I'll set email as a primary key. And now I'll just click on apply, and you will see the equivalent query that is being executed behind the scenes. So instead of doing this from GUI, you can just copy this and run this yourself. So I'll just cancel this, close this too. I'll not save. And here, if I paste this query, select everything and press Control Enter, here, as you can see, the query is successful. And here, right click and click on Refresh All. And now you will see this arrow next to tables 2, and we have table users. To see the data in table users, just click this, and here you will see the column and there are no data. Now to enter data in this, again, you can do that using SQL query. But first, let's try to do it from GUI, and then you can see the equivalent query. So let's say I write my name, that is Vishal, and the last name is Shrestha. Email is vishal@thecodecity.com, and in address, let's just write Nepal. Now we have entered the data. Similarly, you can add another one. Let's say Sam Smith. Email is sam@gmail.com, and the address is UK. And now we have two data. Just click on apply. And here, two different insert queries are executed. The first one is to insert my name, and the second is to insert Sam. So I'll just copy this, and let me try to explain you what the data actually is. So first, what we're doing is we are inserting into which table? Table users table inside the first database. Now, if you have a second DB, you can do something like this. Insert into second DB. Okay, which table of second DB? This table. In which columns? First, the column name is name, and the column name is last name, and then email, and then address, and then these four values. If you do not want to insert data in any value, you can just remove that. So we do not want to insert in address, and we do not want this to be inserted. So these three things will be inserted into these three columns. So let me just do Control Z because I want to insert it right now. Okay, now again, select everything by pressing Control A, and now hit Control Enter. Now let's close this. Let's close this too. So now we have a database, we have table, and we should have our data inside the table. Again, now click on this again. And as you can see, we have, okay, so both of these queries were not executed. Let me just show you it quickly. Let's say change this to Vishal stha@thecodecity.com. Now to execute both at once, what we did is we did Control A to select everything and just pressed Control Enter, right? So only first query was executed. So to execute all the queries, have your cursor here in the first SQL query, and instead of pressing Control Enter, press Control Shift and Enter. Now it will execute both the queries. As you can see, the result for both the queries are here. Now to see the data inside this table, you can either press this, and what it does is it actually executes this query. This asterisk means all. So this is read as select all from, where do you want to select all the data from? From table users in first database. So let's close this, and let's click here again. And now if you enter select all from table users, can you guess what will happen? We'll get an error that says, what does it say? It says no database selected. Okay, so if you have not selected a database, I'll show you how to select the database. So you just need to enter first db.tableusers and then hit Control Enter, and now you can see the data. Now, if you want to not enter this every time, what you can do is you can just right click on this database. Okay, I don't see the option here. So what you can do is, by default, you can just say, if you're going to work on just one database for now, just type this use and then the database name forest_db and press Control Enter. Now, as you can see, this database name will be set to bold. And now you can just enter queries like this, select all from table_users and then Control Enter. Now it will by default select this database. So if you're just going to be working on one database for this session, you can just do that. And later on, when you come back again, you can choose another database by saying use second database or whatever your other database name is. Okay, so now we have seen how you can create database, how you can create tables, and how you can insert data. In the next lessons, we will go in details and we will see how you can rename tables, how you can rename columns, how you can modify data, how you can modify type of data. And we just had a sneak peek into primary key. You will learn more about primary keys, auto increment, not null, indexing, and so on in the next lesson. So the next lesson is all about table management. So subscribe, hit that notification icon, and stay tuned.